In this video, I'm going to take you through the basic concepts of programming in general. With this analogy, we're going to use a cookie jar. So one of the easiest ways to imagine a program is using containers. So imagine the following scenario. This blue container represents a cookie jar. Inside, we are surprised to actually find a cookie that hasn't already been eaten by anyone else. We now know that in the future, we can open the cookie jar and A, check if it's still there, B, check if a nibble has been taken out, or C, eat it. So, as an example, using the cookie jar analogy, we can apply this to programming in general. We can then create a virtual container and place a cookie inside. In Python, this would look as follows. Let's open up the command line interface and type in Python to access the Python interpreter. As you can see, you can have 3 chevrons, which indicates that you have opened up the Python interpreter. Anything you type here will be sent for interpretation by the Python engine. If your command is incorrect, then you will be presented with an error. So if we type in the previous example's code in next to the 3 chevrons and hit the Enter key, you will now see a new line appear with 3 chevrons. What has happened here? You have instructed the Python interpreter to go away and create a container called cookie jar and put the text cookie inside. The purpose of the equals sign is as follows. Where this is used on its own in most programming languages is to indicate where you wish to place the item on the right hand side into the item on the left hand side. So what can we do with our textual representation of the cookie? The quotation marks surrounding the word cookie indicate to the Python interpreter that we are dealing with some text. Where characters are placed together inside quotation marks, we refer this grouping as a string, quite literally a string of characters. So moving onwards to opening the cookie jar. Following on from the analogy, we can have a look inside the cookie jar by emptying the contents in our command line interface window. We can do this by typing the following command: print, open bracket, cookie jar, which is the name of the stored variable we created previously, and then we hit enter. So as you can see, cookie is displayed on the screen as an output. If you were successful, then congratulations, you have completed the first step towards becoming a fully fledged programmer. The exercise you've just completed is called the Hello World exercise. A sanity test is for programmers to print the words Hello World to a screen to make sure they have set up their environment correctly. It's like learning to walk before learning to run. To end this section, the main takeaway should be that a container is called a variable. So whenever you hear the word variable, you can think of it as a container with a certain item inside, just as the analogy cookie jar and a cookie. The cookie jar is the container, a variable, and the cookie is what's contained inside that variable.